This is just a brief informal tutorial to try to help you better appreciate how the Math 108 grading mechanism works, and especially to emphasize the importance of doing the small things. So let me just call your attention to the categories. We have exams, projects, all the way down to seminar. These are different moving parts of the Math 108 course, and when you neglect any one of these categories, it can have repercussions to your overall grade. So what I've built here for you is just a what-if scenario. Suppose that you are an average test taker and you average a score of 70 on your exams. Notice, since the weighting is set at 50% of your overall grade, you end up getting 35 points. These cells on the right-hand column there are simply a multiplication of the weight and the score. Well, also suppose that you didn't give your projects a good solid effort and you're averaging 30%, a very low project score. Notice then, out of the 25 points possible that are available for projects, you're only bringing in 7.5 points. Likewise, I've got only 40% for my math lab and 50% for written homework and so on. Now, what I need you to focus on is that the overall grade is a failing grade. Even though your test scores are averaging a C minus, your overall grade is below passing. And so it's not that the exam scores are the fault here, but rather, as you obviously know, that the other small parts of Math 108 that ultimately add up in a major way. So let's just suppose you were to double your effort in projects. I'm going to change that to a 60. Just that one change right there of making a more concerted effort in your projects swings you right up into the D minus range. You're passing now. Suppose also that you choose to spend a little more dedicated effort on my math lab. Maybe I'll double that to an 80%. And now you're looking at a D plus. If you were to suppose average 80 on your written homework, now you're up to a C minus, which is obviously matching your exam score. So that shows you right there that there is value in all of these moving parts of Math 108, all the small things. They really do matter. And it makes sense, because if you think about the fact that 50% of your grade would come from these categories together, and that can help offset any poor performance you might have on exams. But if you want to take the best case scenario, suppose still you're a 70% kind of test taker, but you follow instructions very carefully, you're very diligent on the projects, and let's say you do a 95% overall average, perhaps a 90 on the My Math Lab, 90 on written homework. Now, the nice thing is, even though you have a C minus average on your exams, you're looking at a B minus overall average for the grade for Math 108. So, just to hit home one more time, the key point here, you can't rely on your test scores only. 50% of your grade comes from other categories, and it would be to your advantage to pay close attention to each of those and give them as much effort as you can to maximize your scores, and thus bringing your overall grade to something that you would be more likely to appreciate, that's definitely different than your exam score. Now, if you did improve your exams, let's say you bring that up to an 80% average, then that's obviously going to have some great significance in your overall grade as well. So that was the main point. Let me just finish with this notion of doing the small things by quoting the scripture. I'm going to take you here to the Doctrine and Covenants, and it's section 64, some classic verses that you'll recognize. Wherefore be not weary in well-doing, for ye are laying the foundation of a great work, and out of small things proceedeth that which is great. Behold, the Lord requireth the heart and a willing mind, and the willing and obedient shall eat the good of the land of Zion in these last days. So, great principles, great scriptures, and just do your best, and remember, it's the small things that ultimately will matter the most as you work very hard to succeed in Math 108.